Thank you for continuing to watch our workout series on how to help individuals with autism through exercise. And I am so happy that Rachel's continued to help and educate you on some of the exercises and routines that she's actually helped develop.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Rach, what are we going to start talking about today?
Well, there's several things, but first I would like to talk about the exercise with your pet.
Mm-hmm.
Some of you may have a cat or a dog, and for anybody who's working with people with autism, sometimes bring the pet in might motivate them even more because of sensory feels, and that generally cats and dogs know their owners.
So when Rachel and I actually first started, Fleur, which is her, what kind of dog is it?
Black Labrador Retriever.
Right.
Female, don't forget.
Yes. We actually started with Fleur because Rachel wasn't too excited about exercise, but Fleur was a big part of getting her motivated to exercise. And unfortunately, we couldn't have Fleur here today,
No.
but we will show some routines and we will explain where Fleur was in the room, or still is to this day, when we do those exercises. And what just happened with Fleur?
Well, since it was my dog's birthday last week, she's been doing some exercises of her own.
Mm-hmm.
Like, taking a walk with Dave and me. Oftentimes she sniffed, and does some stuff, including going to the bathroom, which Dave unfortunately had to pick up every time.
Yes.
Except that one time.
Except that one time. But, yeah. So, we didn't have Fleur here today, but we're going to take you through 3 exercises. And as we've mentioned, remember, you could use a visual schedule like this, which is a list.
Or something like this.
Right. And Rachel, do visuals like this, does it help you, or do you know of other individuals with autism?
I think it may help for those who may have a hard time visualizing.
Mm-hmm.
And in this way, this will help them visualize what they're doing.
Very
Because
good.
oftentimes we say things, but to those on the spectrum, they can't. It's hard for them to visualize if you don't show them actually what it is.
Very good, Rach. Thank you for sharing that with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and when Rachel and I are working it together, I usually use a notebook, and we just record and we go through the routines, and sometimes I pick it, and sometimes she picks the routines. Now, in this example, Rach, how many, we're going to start with the downward dog, then the super Fleurs, and the torso rotation.
Is it 20?
Oh, sure. We'll do 20 seconds on the downward dog, and then
10-6.
10 seconds for the super Fleurs, or 10 on each. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
And then how many torso rotations?
I say about 6.
All right, perfect. Love it. So, Rachel just took ownership of what, and she picked it, which is what we want you to do with your students or your children or adults that you're working with. Give them that ownership. And whether it's 2 or 3, fine. Remember, we've said this repeatedly, we want to keep our children moving. And moving is half the battle. If you can do that, we can work on all the coaching, all the techniques. Diets, all that later, but we just need to start by getting them moving. And Rachel's taking ownership right now. Now, Rachel's going to start by taking you through the downward dog.
Mm-hmm. So you basically stand up here, raise your arms up, then you go down your fours, make sure your feet are flat.
Mm-hmm.
And just stay like this for like 20 seconds.
Perfect. Rach, now where do you feel that working?
Basically, now I'm feeling it in my brain, but my spine, my glutes, my abdomen, my feet, my biceps, triceps, and my calves and...
So she feels it everywhere, clearly. That's awesome. And I'm not worried. Now, Rachel and I have worked on this. Let's put your head down. Okay, I always want the head and the spine neutral because we don't want to add any extra tension to the neck and the shoulders, so we keep the head down. We try to keep the feet flat and the legs straight. And depending on the age of your child or student you may be working with, their legs may not always go straight because of their growth. So, or the way that their body's developing. So again, she's doing it. She's probably held for over 20 seconds. Nice job, Rach. How was that?
I just feel washed back into my blood.
Okay. So there we go. So 20 seconds is done. You would wipe it off, or maybe even wipe both off for some of your children. If you were using this type of schedule, we would move it over to the finished side. And what's next?
Super Fleurs, known as Supermans, but I tend to do Super Fleurs is because I usually put my dog whenever I reach out.
So we'll show you that. Go ahead. So where Fleur would be lying or be sitting or laying would be right here. So if you guys can envision and imagine that. So go ahead, Rach. Now show them what you would do.
I always stretch out my back leg and my front arm and usually pet Fleur by the nose or the head.
Very good. And you're touching?
My knee and my hand.
Very good. And she's crossing midline of the body. She's doing, again, opposite arm to knee, is doing an exceptional job. And then go ahead and switch and do the other side. We've talked about this in other segments. Do both sides of the body. If you do something on the right, challenge them on their left. If you do something forwards, challenge and try it backwards. Good, because we're not only impacting the body physically, but you're also impacting them cognitively. So very important. Nice job.
Yep.
All right, you ready for the third and final one?
Now this is also a trick you could teach to your old dog.
Yes. Rach, can you put your head there?
Okay.
Turn around. Now we call this one the torso rotation. Now this is a little bit advanced, and typically when Fleur's around, we put one of her dog toys or sometimes even a balloon, right?
Yeah.
All right. So what we do is we have her squeeze and hold the ball, and by holding that ball, what part of the body are we working, Rach?
The glutes, the calves, and the abdomen.
Excellent. And remember we talked about this? What are these muscles down here and here? Do you remember?
I think it's ducks.
Yes, good. The ducts, or the adductors and the abductors. Here we go.
You're just thinking them as part of ducks in your legs.
Very good. So she is rotating side to side, and what Fleur often does is Fleur will just be following the ball, tracking it with her eyes, and she wants to grab it. So it's a really good way to get Fleur moving, but also, again, great way to keep Rachel focused and engaged and having fun with Fleur, right?
Yeah, and also for veterinary purposes, this makes the dog follow and discriminate what angle it should get the treat from.
Very good, very good. So we wipe that off. Now it's done. Or I forgot to do this, but on this schedule, you did that here. Now it's finished.
Yeah.
All right. So hopefully that can help you
and your pet.
And your pet. Thank you, Rach. But if you have questions, if you have comments, if you need anything, please contact us at Exercise Connection. I'm sure Rachel would always like to receive some fan mail, right?
Yes.
And you would help other people, right?
Oh, yeah, I definitely do.
Yes. Or obviously contact us over at NCHPAD. And don't forget, challenge autism with exercise. We will see you next time.